Welcome to Chapter 9. Chapter 9, we're going to be discussing sexual orientation. Some people in this class may have some problems with this chapter. We are raised to have certain feelings about sexual orientation, what is right, what was wrong. I was raised to believe homosexuality was wrong. I learned to disagree with my upbringing. And those who raised me have learned to agree with me. It is also important to realize that the world and sexual orientation are not separated into black and white, but there are many shades of gray, as we see with Kinsey's scale. As one of those shades falls right in the middle with bisexuality. Sexual orientation is dependent on a person's self-identity of who they prefer when faced with all options. And I realize that a behavior does not determine an orientation. Many people have had the same-sex experience. This does not make them have the same-sex orientation. They could have been experimenting or in a situation without other options. In previous chapters, we have discussed gender identity and gender roles. Many people have the mistaken idea that homosexuals' gender identity and gender roles are weaker than heterosexuals. This is very false. A homosexual female does not feel like or desire to be a male. She's simply attracted to females. The stereotypes of the butch lesbian or flaming gay are simply stereotypes. Some may act that way. It can be quite fun. But most look and act just like heterosexuals. Many people wonder why some people are heterosexual and some are homosexual. This is the old nature versus nurture question. Is it biological or behavioral? Carefully read the studies on both, but realize they probably both are. I personally don't care which it is. I care about the people who are discriminated against because they are, but that's my opinion. Throughout history, many societies have subjected homosexuals to torture because they were homosexuals, and this torture cured many of them. I know I would suddenly see the light of heterosexuality if I were to be shocked or given a frontal lobotomy if I didn't. Fortunately, the American Psychiatric Society removed homosexuality from its list of mental illnesses in 1973. Thankfully, now that there's no need to cure it, it's not a disease. Despite advances we have made to tolerate homosexuality, it's often just that. We tolerate it, not accept it. Like all our beliefs about sexuality, our beliefs about homosexuality have been taught to us for centuries. Many of us are now learning that our past ideas about sexuality are flawed. Why not these ideas? Sexual prejudice and homophobia are not uncommon. Hopefully, the advances we are making will continue. Why should a couple who is married for 1 year be allowed medical coverage under their partner's plan, while a couple who's together for 10 years not have the same simply because they're of the same sex? A friend of mine was recently telling me about her and her partner. They met when they were both in their 30s and have been together until 10 years ago when her partner passed away. She's now 78. When her partner became very ill, the hospital told her only family was permitted in the hospital rooms. In fact, they allowed her partner's family, and I use the term very loosely as they disowned her when she told them she was gay, right into the hospital and let them make decisions. My friend and her partner went home together, and she cared for her partner at home until she passed away, since they could not be together in the hospital. We condemn hate crimes against homosexuals, but we don't always realize that even our policies can be hurtful and hateful. It's not easy to admit one's homosexuality. Let's be serious. Starting dating is difficult enough when society accepts your choices. For homosexuals, the process of coming out or coming out of the closet can be a lengthy and painful process, from accepting one's own sexuality all the way to feeling comfortable telling friends and then society. They must then go through the same relationship problems and joys that heterosexuals go through. Some work and some don't. Here are the tough questions. Homosexual marriage and homosexuals as parents. It would appear from the statistics that more and more people believe homosexuals should be allowed to marry. Thankfully, in most states they are. But there are still many who believe that this marriage is intended to be between members of the opposite sex for purposes of sacred procreation. If that is your logic, then why do you also agree that people who are infertile and postmenopausal women should not be permitted to marry? And children, should they be permitted to have them? We have discussed the qualities of a person who should possess to be a good parent. Of the thousands of answers I have received when I've asked those questions, not one person said they would be a good parent because they were heterosexual. You can interpret that for yourselves. I believe there are many people who should not be permitted to be parents, but that doesn't stop them. I agree that the children of homosexual parents will be picked on in school. That is what children do. They pick on one another. I was picked on because my parents divorced, because I was a wimp, because I wore glasses, because I was flat-chested, and once because I had a sunburn. At least I would have been prepared if I knew what they were going to pick on me about. Yes, I'm biased, but I will not judge you if you disagree. You will be in the majority if you did. But remember, society has told you what to think. It's up to you if you agree. The media is helping us change our ideas on homosexuality, but it's still slow. I personally enjoyed the fact that people did not judge Melissa Etheridge when she chose to have a child, but focused the attention on her choice of a father. I don't know about you, but I like being me. I don't like other people telling me what I should be or telling me to change who I am. I'm not thrilled with everything about myself, and there are things I would rather change, but I don't need other people to tell me what to do or who to be. I know that there are some things I can change about myself and some things I cannot, and I think changing them should be my choice. Shouldn't homosexuals be allowed the same?